I'm on the line right now with Eddie Edwards, who is one of 4 participants in the IMPACT World Championship match at Slammiversary on July 18th. Eddie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Trying to stay sane.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I don't know if I'm succeeding, but I know the feeling.
There you go. What have you been doing to stay busy?
Luckily around Mass, not luckily, but Mass has been kind of, we've been tied down for a while now. So, luckily right now the weather, it's fine. It's finally nice. It's summertime. I haven't forget that it's summertime because we've just been locked down since April or whatever. So it's like, oh man, all of a sudden it was the 4th of July, and I'm like, what is going on? But with the weather now, we get together. We're getting outside and stuff, and some gyms have opened up, and there's outdoor seating for restaurants. So we're trying to get back into somewhat regular living for us. Whether it's grabbing some food and stuff, and it's been nice to be able to get back in the gym. And just trying to still enjoy the time at home with the family. At first it was great because I'm not usually traveling and everything. Me and the wife are traveling, so it was nice to get a break and be home and be able to just sit and relax. But I think everybody's ready to get back to our regularly scheduled program at this point.
Yeah, and right before all this kicked off, your family was expanded too. You have a little girl now, so what's that been like too?
Yeah, it's been awesome. We've had her since she's 3 months old, so she's 3 now. She turned 3 in April. So we did her birthday party via Zoom on April 1st. So that was kind of different, but also cool. It was nice with the family. We were still able to be a part of it. But that's been the best part. We've been able to be home with her and just kind of enjoy each other and hang out and play. It's going to be interesting when she has to go back to her regular schedule. She has to go to school and stuff like that. And after having so much time together, all of us together, it may be a little tough, but we've been capitalizing on it. We've been doing a lot of coloring, a lot of indoor basketball, a lot of ball throwing, just the works. But it's been fun. We've been real happy. And obviously being able to adopt her was what we wanted all along, so it's been a great thing. And thank you for asking to bring that up. I appreciate it.
What's your favorite show that she's making you watch? Because I have daughters too, and I know they do it to me.
Well, let's see. I want to hear yours. What do you got?
I've watched a lot of Fancy Nancy lately, and they are starting to get into The Descendants.
Okay. So you get how old are your girls?
6-year-old twins, and then I have a baby that's 11 months old.
Oh boy! So you must be keeping busy anyway.
Yeah. I want them to go home. I want them to go back to school, but at the same time, it's kind of nice having them here. And my routine hasn't changed too much.
As soon as it happens, you're gonna be like, oh man, I missed them.
Yeah, my routine hasn't changed too much. I just have to, they're done with their school stuff now, so it's a little less stressful.
Yeah. Honestly, for me. She's really into Blippi. I don't know if he's like a YouTube. Did a show on YouTube, and he has a show on like Amazon and stuff. And he just goes to like parks and playgrounds and everything. So a lot of Blippi, Marsha and the Bear, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, of course. That's a go-to. And she likes some movies that are like Pixar and Disney ones. So I don't mind watching those. We watch Toy Story a bunch. Zootopia is one of my favorites, so I try to always push it towards the ones that I like. And then some Alvin and the Chipmunks. I think those are the top hits right there, and Wreck-It Ralph. So I know pretty much all of those by heart now.
There you go. That's a good mix.
Yeah.
So, as I said at the start of the call, you are in a title match at Slammiversary. It's you, Ace Austin, Trey, and the other person we don't know yet. The lineup changed quite a bit. We started with a tournament, then it was a 5-way with Tessa and Michael Elgin. They're not in the match anymore. And the company's teasing a mystery opponent. So with all of those changes, has that changed your preparation at all?
For me, it's the main event. It's for the World Championship, So my mentality stays the same. I think everybody who is a part of Slammiversary, part of Impact, we all have the same goal. We all want to go out there. We all want to tear it up. We want to steal the show. We want to have a great matches, and we want to win. And, and for me, that's my same mindset. Obviously the matches have changed, so it throws a temporary wrench into the plans. But, no matter what, my game plan stays the same. Go out there and win, and deliver. Leave it all out there. As far as the mystery opponent, obviously it's a mystery. We don't know. I'm not one of those guys that is overly concerned about it because it's going to happen. I can't control it. I can't control who it is or who it's not. So I'll be in the ring. The music will hit, and I'll be prepared at that moment. Up until then, I'm going to try my best to not drive myself crazy wondering who it could be or who it couldn't be,
Is there somebody you don't want it to be, if I have to put you on the spot?
Who I don't want it to be? I don't know. I'm open to anybody, really, because I'm excited for it, you know what I mean? I'm looking forward to see how surprising it can be. So I don't say, I don't want to hold it back against anybody, so I'm ready for anybody. Open door policy at Impact Wrestling. That's a good thing.
What about your buddy Moose?
Moose. I mean, I would love him. I would love Moose to be the guy because Moose. I enjoy being the hell out of Moose. He's my friend, and I love to kick the crap out of him. And I know that we bring the best out of each other. Whoever it is, they're going to be, rightfully in the spot because, like I said, it is the main event. It's the World Championship. So they're not going to just throw anybody in there all willy-nilly, you know what I mean? They're going to be somebody who Impact, they feel that they deserve a chance, they deserve a shot. So it could be anybody. It could be anybody from outside Impact or inside Impact. I'm expecting the unexpected, as they say.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the things I keep going back to is, you're very familiar with Ace Austin. We don't know who the other guy is going to be, so you can't really focus on that too much. But you and Trey, as far as I know, haven't really matched up too much. So, what's that dynamic like? Like, are you looking forward to working with him?
Yeah, like you said, me and Ace, we have our history. We've gone to battle inside, outside, in hotels, we've done it all. So I think I'm pretty prepared for Ace. Trey, he's been going out there and killing it, man. Like, this year, it's like his coming out party. You know what I mean? The Rascals as a whole have been killing it, individually and together. I'm excited to get in there with him because I want to see what he can do. I want to push him to the limit and see, if he has, in my mind, what it takes to be the champion and to get to the next level. This is a big moment for Trey and Ace. These guys going for the world title, main event of Slammiversary, the biggest pay-per-view of the year, a truly momentous moment for Impact. They have to go out there and they got to deliver because it's sink or swim time. And I have faith that Trey is going to be ready and he's going to be prepared. So I'm looking forward to going toe-to-toe with him and see what he's got.
It almost feels like you were in a similar position when you won the title too, because it was like he's coming out of a stable, but a tag team. You were coming out of the team with Davey, and people kind of felt like, let's see if he has what it takes. Like, and you ended up winning the title, and you proved yourself.
Sure,
so there's definitely parallels.
I see a lot of similarities. Me and Davey were doing our thing, and then I ended up going up against Bobby Lashley, somebody who was a proven champion. You know what I mean? A proven monster, proven beast. And, like I say, anything is possible. And I think Trey very much goes by that motto as well, where he knows if he gets in there, he always has a chance. There's a fighter's chance no matter what. So it'll be interesting to see if he can capitalize on this and what momentum he has going into this, if he can use that to his advantage.
That title that you won was the TNA title. It wasn't the Impact Championship. It's the one that Moose is carrying around now. So do you have any thoughts besides wanting to beat him up? Like, do you have any thoughts on how he's carried himself so far as champion?
Yeah, I was a TNA champion, and I said, I like to point out the fact that he says he's beaten all these former champions and this and that, but he's yet to beat me. honestly, whether I love him or hate him or a little bit of both, he's done an amazing job with the championship and how, promoting it as a true championship. He's done a good job of it. Now, I'm not going to hate him for that. And he acts like a champion. He goes out in the ring and he delivers like a champion with questionable tactics, sure, but he is the champion for a reason, and I think that's a good thing. And, and I'd love to go toe-to-toe with him again for that championship belt.
Ever since you did win that championship, you pretty much have been on your own. You've gone through a few different character changes. The most infamous thing was the baseball bat shot with Sami Callihan, and we talked about that so much, or just read about it because that, it was a accident, really, and then you turned it into something good. But now that you have some distance between that time and where you're at now, do you almost feel like it's a relief to somewhat break away from having to talk about that so much?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it happening. I'm okay with everything that has happened since because, like we talked about before, without that, I wouldn't be the character, the person, or the wrestler that I am now. I'm happy that it's behind me, obviously, but I wouldn't, at this point, I wouldn't change it because it has led me down this road to where I am going into Slammiversary, for the title, and it changed me. It forced me to change, which is a great thing, because sometimes, being comfortable is not always a good thing. I was who I was. I had my style and my character, and I was doing what I was doing. But now, I feel like it gave me, another dynamic to myself, inside the ring and outside the ring. It gave me chances to try different things, and I can honestly say that I've never been more comfortable. Not in a bad way, more comfortable or more, you have more confidence in my ability and where I am today, because I know at any point I can, bring out the stuff that I've done in the past or go back to the quote-unquote technical style or the strong style or the hardcore or the brawling. I know that I have that all in my repertoire and I can take it at any point. And I feel like me being that well-rounded has led me to having the most confidence I've ever had in my career, inside and outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely would agree that it's added a new dynamic. I guess what I was really trying to say was it's not the first thing people talk about when you hear Eddie Edwards now. Because that, it was like, oh man, look at his eye, or oh yeah, the baseball bat. Now you have all this stuff that, in spite of that, you said there's a lot of positives that come out of it. You have more depth as a character. So, when they announced your name for this match, you didn't, that wasn't like, oh yeah, the baseball bat shot. Like, at least you're not being, I want to say pigeonholed, but,
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's not just, I'm not just a guy that got his face broken by a baseball bat. Which, yes, that is a good thing. I am happy about that. I'm happy that, I've been able to do things since then that have been memorable and have, led people to talk about other things, for sure.
And one of the, I think, most sentimental segments that I've seen so far was the passing of the torch, so to speak, between you and Tommy Dreamer. And, you've had your issues with Moose, with Ace Austin. So you've had all of these different, hallmarks in your own career. So it's not just the one thing.
I appreciate that. I'm happy that, but it's like a, family tree. I wouldn't have done those things if it hadn't been because of that bat. So I definitely try to take the good with the bad. And at this point, it's all good to me.
Besides the world title match, the main event, we've been seeing a lot of teases for a former world champion coming back, the future endeavored stuff. That's been a really big selling point for this event. Are there any specific guys, you think would add an interesting dynamic to the locker room? Like EC3 is the name that everybody keeps saying, but is there anybody else that maybe that hasn't been there before that you want to see that can really help you guys?
I mean, I think there's a lot of guys that, have been release some other companies that are out there who could definitely add, their own flavor to Impact. I think it just shows, the positive way that Impact is going right now, where, Impact is a destination for people, and it can be, and it should be, because, Starker speaking personally, it's a great, it's a great place to work. I love being a part of Impact Wrestling, and I look forward to seeing who will be coming in. EC3, who is a friend of mine, I'd love to see him back, not only just because I'm selfish and I want my friend there, but because of how much he did before when he was a part of Impact and TNA and all the stuff he did and the character he was. I think he can add a lot to it, and we saw, these clips and, the clips in the montage and the vignettes and stuff. And I think like Gallows and Anderson, those guys who haven't been here, as a tag team before, to have them come in. I think the fact that we have people who are coming in, whether past or present, they've been there in the past or they haven't been, I think it's just a good sign, and I'm glad that it's getting people talking because I'm excited for it, as an employee, as a wrestler for the company. I hope the fans are, it sounds like they are. I hope they are as excited as I am, because I'm just going to be sitting back and waiting to see what's going to happen and who's going to show up, because you never know. And, when we got people talking like this about Slammiversary, that is a good thing.
For sure.
Who do you think it's going to be? Who do you think is going to show up?
I don't know. I mean, I think Eric Young's going to come back.
And that's a good thing, though. That's a good thing that nobody is overly confident as to who they think is going to show up, because there's a lot of possibilities.
And there's so many, there's so many guys that, you want to see an opportunity and you can kind of fantasy book and say, okay, he would be good with, this guy, or he'd be good in the X division. He'd be good as the world champion. It's really interesting. And I love the vignettes. It's one of my favorite ones that you guys have done in years.
Yeah, for sure. I think our production team absolutely kills it. Every time that they're building hype video and stuff like that, it's like, seriously, that Slammiversary one, last night just got my juices flowing. It gave me chills watching it, and I think that does the same for the fans. So I'm looking forward to whoever it might be. It's going to kick some flavor into Impact and change things up. And like you said, with the fantasy booking, there's going to be so many new and different matches that are going to be able to happen. The possibilities are endless, really.
I'll get you out on this. I've been asking everybody since this quarantine started about, we didn't think we'd have wrestling content. That's not the case. Impact's done a great job of putting shows on, but I wanted to know if there's any matches from your career, or maybe one that just you've been watching you really would recommend to somebody if they're looking for new content or just revisiting it again.
Well, I'll say selfishly, I will first say me against Lashley. When I did win the championship, what better way to get ready for Slammiversary than that? And also, I've done a lot for Pro Wrestling Noah over in Japan, and one of my absolute favorite matches ever was Jun Akiyama against Kenta Kobashi from the Tokyo Dome, 2005, I believe it was 2005. And that match is, one of my favorites, if not my absolute favorite. So if people haven't seen it or haven't even watched some of Pro Wrestling Noah, I should just checking that out. And other than that, man, it's a good time to just watch as much wrestling as you can. I've been doing that. I go through phases where certain days I'm watching, stuff from, All Japan back in the day, or Pro Wrestling Noah, and of course going back and checking out, the older TNA stuff and the Impact stuff. It's just a good time to take as much content in as you can. And then it's a good way to get ready for what we have coming up at Slammiversary,
Mm-hmm. Slammiversary is Saturday, July 18th. Eddie Edwards takes on Ace Austin, Trey, and to be determined. But we know that there's going to be a new world champion that night. Eddie, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And hopefully I'll be able to talk to you as a champion soon.
Absolutely.